37 years old. 37 years old when Abraham took him to be offered. And that, what a test, because other than Ishmael, Isaac was his only son. In fact, Isaac is his only son from Sarah. Of course, Ishmael is from Hagar, the slave. But what a test. Very few, if any, can pass that test. And Abraham would have the knife with him. Okay? And Isaac would carry the wood. So Isaac was walking, climbing up the mountain, and Isaac asked, I have the wood, you have the knife, where's the offering? Where is the offering? Genesis chapter 13. And what did Abraham say? Abraham said, very simple. He said, God will provide the offering. Which is true. God will provide the offering. Imagine the trust. This word here. The word trust. Who of you can pass that test? Not many, I'm sure. And even doubt if any would pass the test. But Abraham passed the test. As soon as the woods were laid, Abraham asked his son Isaac to lie down on the pile of wood. And then he pulled his knife and he was ready to strike Isaac. He was ready. And he was serious because he was so trusting that he knew that God asked him to offer Isaac as his sacrifice. And he was at the brink of hitting Isaac, and the angel stopped him. Now I know you truly love me. What a test. That's why Abraham was made father of all nations. Because that was so severe test that he went through and passed. Who of us can offer our own child as offering? That's such a serious test. But that's a demonstration of trust, absolute trust in Jesus. When you are running dry of money and you start losing sleep over it, you start getting sleepless and getting restless. You become restless because you don't know what to do. And what happens? What happens? It's a test again. It's a test from God. And what do we do? Trust. Trust in Jesus. Jesus will provide. I always want to quote Abraham. Don't worry, my son, for the offering. Where's the lamb? Isaac was looking for the lamb. The lamb offering, because they would all normally offer the lamb a sacrifice. And Abraham said, don't worry, son. God will provide the offering. So let's not worry about anything that begets us. And just trust in Jesus. He knows best. That is the main lesson here. A key discipline of discipleship. What's discipline anyway? Discipline is, these are the traits that we need to have in our bodies, in our spirits, so we can be truly disciples of Jesus. Because without these disciplines, I doubt it if you can be an effective disciple of Jesus. I really doubt it. Number 3, poverty. If you are to do something, if you are to follow Jesus, there should be no worldly gain. That's why those speakers who charge money, I know many of them.
Like on TV?
Oh yeah, you know, in Good Morning America today, this morning, they showed those pastors how they live. They live like kings. One of them was driving a Rolls Royce. One was driving Mercedes Benz, and they live in mansions. They're very rich. There's so much worldly gain, and that's not poverty. That's not poverty. To follow Jesus can bring ridicule. It can, indeed. Some people would tell you, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. You can do other things and you can make money instead of wasting your time. You know? That's ridicule. Or loss. You lose the opportunity to make money. Or you can be in prison. Or even death. The 11 disciples that turned apostles of Jesus, except one, except John, they were all martyred. Of course, John was also martyred, but white. Last week I gave two kinds of martyrdom. One is red, meaning you physically die for your faith, and the other one is white, meaning you are persecuted, all right, but you do not die. Like what happened to John. John was put in exile in Patmos Island until he died. He was not allowed to leave Patmos. So he was persecuted, all right, but not. There was no death. There was no death. Obviously, poverty is a discipline of discipleship. And the definition of poverty is the capacity to be free from the snares of power, popularity, and possessions. Those three P's. Power, popularity, possessions. Power. Positions of power. Popularity. Oh, I'm famous. I'm on TV every Sunday. I'm famous. Everybody knows me. If that's the reason for the discipleship, then it beats the purpose. And possessions. Possessions. Money. Mansions. Many cars. They showed this morning, Good Morning America, how many of these pastors are living in mansions. Very, very luxurious life. So, there is possessions, there's popularity, there's power, there's no poverty. There's no poverty. Number 4, promptness. The old problem of tomorrow. You always hear this, what do you call this? Procrastinators. You know procrastinators? Especially during tax season. Oh, it's just February. Instead of March, there's April. They procrastinate. And then before they know it, it's April 14th. Then they start calling you, oh, I have to do my income tax. They procrastinate. And the key here is the old problem of tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. The Bible says now. Bible says now. Let's look at Proverbs 27:1. Old Testament Proverbs. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth. This is very relevant. That's why we jumped over to 27:1. Proverbs 27, verse 1. Do not boast about tomorrow, because you do not know what that day brings. Proverbs 27, verse 1. See that? Some people say, let's do it tomorrow. As if tomorrow everything will be okay. And then tomorrow comes, what happens? Tomorrow again. Guess what? You're not a disciple. Remember from last Sunday's Gospel from Matthew. I will follow you, but let me do this first. In other words, I'll follow you tomorrow. I'm busy today. I have other things to do today. But I'll follow you tomorrow. It's just like when you offer someone and in order not to say no, because some people find it difficult to say no. What do they say instead? Okay, I'll try. When somebody says I'll try, it means no. They will never try. It means an outright no. They're just embarrassed. They're just ashamed to say no. So somehow to give you a little consolation, okay, I'll try. I'll see. Oh, you want to come? I'll see. It means no. If you want to come, you come now, not tomorrow. Okay? And number 5, permanence. If you discern your calling and your election, like I believe I've been called to do what I'm doing, and I believe I elected what I'm doing, and because I elected this, I made it permanent. I make it permanent. No matter what the situation is, no matter how many people come, it goes. That's how it should be. It's permanent. Stay, hold, keep. Don't look back. Just keep on. Again, right there. Be firm in your resolve. Let's look at Ephesians 4, New Testament. Ephesians 4. Now this I affirm and testify in the Lord, that you must no longer live as the Gentiles do, in the futility of their minds. They are darkened in their understanding, alienated from the life of God, because of the ignorance that is in them, due to their hardness of heart. They have become callous, and have given themselves up to licentiousness, greedy to practice every kind of uncleanliness. You did not so learn Christ, assuming that you have heard about him and were taught in him, as the truth is in Jesus. Put off your old nature, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your minds. Okay? Look at verse 20. You did not so learn Christ. You heard about him, yes. You heard about him, you were taught in him, but you did not learn. You did not learn. Because you lack permanence. You can also relate this to your interest, your enthusiasm. Some people are so keen with their interest on something. Get me something that you're interested in. Some people are interested, let's say, oh yeah, I want to study the Bible. I got invited, I want to come. Yes, let me come. So they come. They came again. And then you see that their attendance becomes seldom. Until finally they stop coming. Why? There's no permanence. There's no permanence. They have not made it permanent, the calling. They have not made the election permanent. You see? You see if this is missing? When this is missing, that's what happens. Your interest is like way up at first, and then slowly but surely, gradually, it slides down. It dies down. Until such a point that you have no more interest left. That's why I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. The interest should be permanent, constant. That's why we always say, only God is changeless. God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. God is the same. He never changes. Now how come things get worse in us? Well, because we change. We change, so things get worse. We change, things get better. But nothing is permanent with us. Number one, we grow old. We grow older by the day. God doesn't. That's why I remember when I was talking about heaven, that's one good thing about heaven. In heaven, we don't grow old. We don't grow old in heaven. In heaven, we don't get sick. We do get sick here. In heaven, we don't go hungry. In heaven, it's always full of joy. There are no problems in heaven. There's no anxiety in heaven. It's permanent. The joy is permanent in heaven. Wouldn't you like to be there? Imagine no pain, no sickness. You don't grow old. You don't feel hunger and thirst. That's what Jesus himself said. Remember the woman at the well, whose name was Potini. He says, well, the water I give you, you'll never thirst again. In other words, there's no thirst in heaven. There's no hunger in heaven. Here, we always have to eat every X number of hours, right? We have to drink to rehydrate our bodies because of the heat. And we have to sleep. In heaven, we don't sleep also. We don't need to sleep. There's no need to sleep. You know, I have my story. In hell, there's no time also in hell. You know that? In hell, there's no time. The thing about hell is you'll be very busy shaking the hands of your friends. You'll be super busy. Oh, you're here too. Any question on this? Is it clear? Next, I will talk to you about a practical lesson.